Matrixton Roadshow fans, we are back with another video, and we're going to be talking about CNN's Charles Barkley. Now, I don't know if you guys actually know this or not here on this channel, but Charles Barkley is actually Rhodes' favorite NBA player of all time. He actually met Charles Barkley back in the 1990s. Charles Barkley, all-time great NBA player, but this man has completely lost his mind. He's actually hosting a failed show on CNN with Gayle King. It's actually called King Charles. It's failing. And by the way, CNN is probably about to fire a whole bunch of high-dollar people over there. You know, names that you actually know over there. They're about to be gone. They're about to be fired. Now, Charles Barkley's show is failing big time. Charles Barkley also seems to have a case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. And to people on the left, man, the people that they really cannot stand, that trigger them the most, is actually black Trump supporters. Oh boy, they'll lose it, man. They will lose it. Why is it that you think that they're always going after Clarence Thomas? Now, of course, you guys know that the other day the Supreme Court actually ruled 9-0 in favor of Donald Trump to keep him on the ballot. But public enemy number one was Clarence Thomas. Why? Because he is a free-thinking black man. He is not on the Democrat plantation. He's a free thinker. Now, Charles Barkley, man, I don't know what's happened to Charles, man. Sometimes Charles is base and other times he's not. This same guy that was saying this back in 1993, he said that I'm not a role model. Parents should be role models. That was 30 years ago. But I guess Charles Barkley over the past 30 years has lost his mind. We need to react to this clip of Charles Barkley actually threatening black Trump supporters. Yes, because if you're a black man, you must be on the Democrat plantation. No questions asked. Charles does not like it if black people actually support Donald Trump. So let's go ahead and get into this, man. I cannot believe this. Disappointed in Charles Barkley. NBA legend Charles Barkley threatens to punch black Donald Trump supporters in the face. Now, Charles, have you actually said this about white Trump supporters, Latino Trump supporters, Muslim Trump supporters? Because they all exist too. But you want to go out there and punch black Trump supporters because they disagree with you politically. Yeah, this is insane, man. Is Charles Barkley a leftist? I never thought in my lifetime that I would actually say that Charles Barkley is a leftist. But he does suffer from Trump derangement. This is crazy, man. It says here, NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley threatened to punch black supporters of Donald Trump in the face if he saw any sporting a t-shirt featuring Trump's mugshot. In a segment Monday with CNN's Gayle King, Barkley blasted Trump for his comments made on Friday in Columbia, South Carolina, where he marveled that his mugshot had become a popular image among some blacks. And we got the clip here, man. And Charles Barkley is going to just lose his mind. Threatening violence. But I guess when you're on CNN, when you're a never Trumper, you can actually get away with threatening violence. Just imagine, man, if it was a white Republican threatening black people. Oh boy, it would be everywhere. The mainstream media would be crushing this person. But anyway, let's go ahead and play this clip.
And you know who embraced it than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts.
When you heard that, what did you think? Big sigh.
First of all, I'm just going to say this. If I see a black person walking around with Trump mugshot, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Charles.
No, Gail.
Charles.
Gail.
You really can't say that because you don't mean that.
Oh, I mean that sincerely. I'm gonna just tell you something.
And then you will be arrested for assault. And then what?
I'm gonna bail myself out and go celebrate. If I
don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Okay, but go ahead.
Seriously.
Continue.
Look at his face, man. He's dead serious about this. Why, Charles, would you actually threaten to commit violence on black people that vote for Donald Trump? It's ridiculous, man.
First of all, if I was at that
conference,
I'd have got up and walked out. That was an insult to all black people. Because he's basically just saying, and first of all, to compare black history where we've been discriminated against to his plight.
Yes.
Well, first of all, he's a billionaire. And they're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong.
They're prosecuting him because they disagree with him politically. That's what they're doing. All these things are political witch hunts, I should say. And Barkley knows that, man. He knows that.
They're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. And for him to compare...
It's still in the court system, Charles. We have to wait. It's still in the court system. But continue.
Well,
continue.
Some of the stuff is true. They did storm the Capitol. They did say that the election was stolen. Those aren't lies, Gail. Those are
They
facts.
did say that. They did say that.
But to compare, I would have got up and walked out because it's not a fair comparison. You know, he's a billionaire. He's had a great life. He's been president of the United States. To insult black people who have been discriminated against all these years, to put them in the same category, I was just offended.
Yeah, another thing, black people that were getting discriminated against, they were discriminated by Democrats. Thank you very much. Democrats. Charles Barkley, man, I am disappointed in you, man. This is ridiculous, man. And Charles Barkley, you know, he's always said, you know, outlandish things. He's always spoke his mind. So when I hear Barkley actually saying this is Barkley actually speaking his mind. He's not joking around. He has just threatened to commit violence on black people that vote for Donald Trump. Well, Barkley, today I went and cast my vote for Donald Trump. Are you going to punch me? I don't have a Trump shirt, but if I told you that I voted for Donald Trump, would you punch me? I don't think Charles would. Charles is what, 60, 61 years old, man. He's pretty old. I think I can take him, but I ain't looking for a fight, though. I'm not looking for a fight with Charles Barkley, man, but this is ridiculous, man. You see, this is the problem, man, with these never Trumpers, man. They just lose their mind. They'll say anything and get away with it. Just because they hate Donald Trump, man, it's okay if you don't like Donald Trump. That's fine. But to threaten violence on black people, especially since you actually brought them up, that is crazy. Charles Barkley, man, has lost his mind. I've lost all respect for Charles Barkley. I have. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Matrix and Roadshow fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.